box on. Let's take a preview. Make sure this the stream is up. Where the music gets into the groove. I'll there we go. Cool. Alright, so this is the Hour of Devastation first booster box game I'm gonna do. May get a little more if I pull some more invocations. Just for reference, during the pre-release stuff I opened 2 invocations. I traded one to a buddy for a bunch of valuable cards to fit into some of my modern and standard decks and stuff. I also got a booster pack, a bundle, I was going to say a fat pack, and got the tokens and land packs. So I should have the complete sets of both for collection's sake, but I know these end up being double-sided, which is a little bit annoying because I can't use them as separate tokens sometimes, but more than okay. So we'll open those after, just to take a quick look at all those things. So now that things are going, let's just get my sleeves and stuff open here. And I'll put my mouse out of the way. Alright, let's go for it. I'm excited because I didn't think I'd like this set. I played a bunch of pre-releases. The way my store recently set things up was in a way that I wasn't quite a fan of. It was, they set it up so there's a serious tournament, which is fine because I'm down for that always, and that one got more prizing and took away the default packs, so we didn't get participation packs if you got bad decks or pre-release packs or whatever. But they gave away a box plus packs for first place, and top 8 got up to I think 4 packs even if you were an 8th, which is pretty good. Then the casual tournament, or the drop tournament as we call it, because if you drop out after a certain point during the tournament, you get a cheaper entry into that the side tournament there. But that one didn't get extra prizing because they scheduled it as a casual tournament and you could just drop in at any time, so there was no worry for getting fancy stuff or heavy prizing or anything like that. So no pressure to reform, which is fine, but I didn't realize it until I was in and I was like, oh, prizing is not great. I probably should have stayed in the other one. But I wasn't super confident in the first deck I got. And I pulled, see, my first pre-release pack, I ended up getting a Samet and a Samet as my promo. So 2 Samets, and obviously I ended up going red-green, heavy deserts, just tons of the Sidewinder Nagas, the 4/2 tramples if you control a desert, the 4-drop 3/3s, also include the Lightning Bolt if you have a desert. Like, thing was burstingly good, but my first 2 matches were against mirror matches with dudes that had way more removal than me, and that tended to be a deciding factor pretty quick. So yeah, I'll open these. I'll kind of quickly go through the commons and sort them into stacks. If there's anything particularly interesting or something I like or whatever, I'll show it up. And I'll talk about the rares and the uncommons a bit if there's anything particularly spicy. And of course the goal with this is if I can get myself some invocations or anything of particular value, I will use the money to go pick up a new box. Ever since I started recording these, I haven't gotten many invocations or masterpieces in the boxes, but Battle for Zendikar and Oath of the Gatewatch, I got a ton, and I ended up getting I think 5 boxes, because I would get an expedition and a couple foil rares that were pretty useful, or like an Ulamog or 2 or something like that, and I would just take those 3 or 4 cards in and go get another box, and then do it again, and again, and again, and again. And between Oath of the Gatewatch and Battle for Zendikar, I have way too many packs of stuff that I barely paid for. And that part was fine. But, alright. Sandblast, Countervailing Winds, Firebrand Archer, Rampage and Hippo, Carrying Creature. Unsummon is freaking cool. I love this card. Oh, focus. Focus, camera. My camera not gonna. There we go. God damn it. Whatever. I need a new camera. Time for a good one. Unsummon is a particularly fun card, especially in like draft or something. If nobody wants it, I'll suck them up every time. Oh yeah, and a secret hero in this thing is Sifter Worm. If you're in red-green, oh man, is this thing just probably my favorite green stompy creature of the last couple sets. And Solemnity, cool. Modern card basically, maybe in standards or something, but stop counters basically. Alright. And I've had a really low percentage of full art lands in this set, so I'm glad it came. I got the bundle and got the pack there. I really like the tokens. They're cool. They're pretty creepy looking, and it's nice to play with them if you have them. But often I don't have the creatures that I pull in drafts or something. But I will soon, now with this pack all going through. Even. I'll try to like open them up and reveal them here as I get them, just in case something fancy pops up. And keep the surprise for everybody. Ah shoot, I didn't sort the uncommons out there. Ooh, Champion of Wits is fun. Nothing too crazy, but really solid altogether. 3-drop 2/1, which is meh. But you get draw cards equal to this power, and then you can discard 2 cards. Both of those things fit the set real well, especially if you're in the cycling back. But the Eternalize, come back as a 4/4, draw 4 cards, discard 2 is oof, that's great. I love this soundtrack. If you guys haven't played Crypt of the Necrodancer, might not be everybody's cup of tea, but it is a particularly ingenious game, and the soundtrack on it is amazing. One of my favorite dudes, A-Rival, he does one of the 5 soundtracks in that game, I think, because they're split up with a couple different artists. I'm not sure who this exact one is, because I'm super shit with artist names and song names. Oh yeah, this card. So Blur Blades is kind of like a slightly more expensive shock if you only did 1 damage to a creature in the form of a counter and did 2 damage to the controller. I don't know if there's a really relevant like older card that's like this, but I kind of thought this would do more work, but I think it's going to do more work in standard or constructed type stuff rather than the the drafty type stuff. Oh yeah, Bloodwater Entity is a good one too. Flying, Prowess, 2/2. It's 3 cost, 1 generic, blue and red. And when you enter the battlefield, you may put target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard on top of your library. So just recursion kind of thing. There's gonna be shenanigans with that for sure. This card, so simple, scry. And then look at the top of your library, you put it on the battlefield. If it's a creature card, if you don't put it in your hand. It's expensive, because unless you're playing something like Lumog or whatever, that's 6 mana. Sorry. Okay, I'll finish this card description first. Camera focus. Oh, it's focused up there now. Whatever. I'll just bring stuff up when it's important. Yes, Reason to Believe feels real expensive to get. Probably something mediocre if you're playing Draft or Limited or whatever. God, I can't stop yawning right now. Very much a constructed mint card. Oh, I thought I got something, but this is foil land. Not a... Fuck. I don't think I've gotten a fuller yet. Hostile Desert is whatever. It's a desert manland, which is fine. But... bleh. No haste, so it can't attack the turn you get it out. And it's just fine. I don't think it's good though. Put that up there. Oh yeah, I need a little spot for foils and super fancy rares here. This is gonna be my land slot, basics and full arts. That'd be my rare lands, rare and uncommons here, and commons and stuff down there. Hey, insect token for the Locust God, which I have plenty of from the last couple pre-release events here. And I know foiling a friggin' basic or whatever is nothing fancy, but I just hate when they curl up when it gets like kind of humid out or whatever. It's really not a satisfying feeling to have your cards curl up like Pringles. Alright. I have yet to open a mythic. It's only been like 4 packs, but could be any pack. Or an invocation. Generally I've kind of noticed that I can feel one coming, like when I touch the bottom couple cards, there's like a certain thickness to it. You almost know it's right there. Man, no full art still. I wonder if they dialed back on that. Hour of Glory is 4 mana instant, exile target creature. If it was a god, controller reveals his or her hand and exiles all cards from it with the same name as that creature. 4 mana exile at instant is fine. It's cool. Super great. Limited. If you're in black, it is also a fantastic side card. You can shock it. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm pretty yawny because yesterday I went to the midnight release and played 2 midnight drafts, and then came home and went to work. And then I went to another draft after and hung out with my buddies there and talked about the cards and stuff and did some trades for the invocations I got. So I'm pretty burnt out. I'm gonna do this crash. So hopefully there's some good stuff in here that makes me a good bit happy. Hey, Cat Sovereign. Old Amonkhet tokens, no full art. I haven't actually pulled this guy before, so interesting to get him now. Camera, you focus, you motherfucker. Whatever. Gets 1/1 for each other cat you control. Pay white, exert him, create 2 white cat tokens with lifelink, which is... He can make himself bigger pretty cheaply, and I know a lot of people are pretty stoked for Cat Tribal. And if you haven't seen it yet, there's a single spoiler for the commander decks, which the second commander deck is going to be Cat Tribal, which is pretty cool, sort of. I'm curious how many new cards and how many reprints are going to be in there. Because Amon Cat and Our Devastation are pretty flush with cat types. I just like, 10 of Johnny Planeswalkers in there. All different ones. And then like tons of legendary cats and whatnot. Stuff I don't already have. Hey, Nimble Instructionist. He's pretty good. I like him in standard. He's kind of like disallow on a creature, which is weird, but only when you cycle him. So, extra copy of disallow. Because flash, flying, and if you cycle him for 2 generic and a blue, you can counter target activated or triggered ability you don't control. Not quite disallow, but it's close. But a flash flying 3/1 is cool. And real playable. Oh, I've opened a couple of these since these ones, but this is one of my favorite cards in the set. Like a 5 cost 4/4. Semi-unblockable. You can really free up board states if like you and your opponent are sitting at like 3 creatures each or something, and you pop this thing down. They suddenly have to deal with some real problems because you essentially removed a creature from combat, and you also played a creature, so it ends up becoming a real problem for them. Hey, Hollow One. I think I got 3 or 4 of these guys in the pre-releases. It's fine in multicolor decks, especially in draft, because you can just play it and it's okay for the cost. Fits better in the cycling deck. It cycles on its own, which makes it a little plus as well. I just like it because you don't have to fix for mana for it, for a decently costly card. And if you just happen to be in the right deck, and you got like the 1-drop red cycler, or the 1-drop blue cycler, or the 1-drop black cycler, or a bunch of the 1-drop green cycling enchantment removals or something like that, you can pay 3 and get a 4/4, which is not busted, but it's good. It's pretty good. And you'll get to draw 3 cards too, which is pretty interesting if you're in that deck. If I start to ramble, just ignore me. Hey, Bantu's Last freaking no full arts. I am cursed with those right now. Bantu's Last Reckoning is great. A 3-mana Wrath is radical, especially like lands you don't untap. Lands you control don't untap during your untap step. That's fine. Who cares? Like, if you're getting your face beat, or they're like multiplying tokens uncontrollably or something, you don't care if your lands don't untap, because it'll take them a turn or 2 to like recast a lot of stuff, or maybe the stuff that they played, they don't have the ability to recast. It's like they were instants or something like that to generate some tokens or whatever, and you wipe the board for a very low cost of mana. Bantu's Last Reckoning and Kefnet's Last Word, or Knowledge, or whatever. Those 2 are probably my favorite of the cycle, because the Hazoret's one is good, but it's really hard to predict what you're gonna get, so it's just gambly, not real great in like limited situations. No full arts. Also, this card I'm not a fan of. I don't like Refuse. You pay 4, which is too expensive, to deal damage to target spell's controller equal to that spell's rear mana cost. And then Cooperate is an aftermath card. Copy target instant or sorcery spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. And that one's for 3, which is actually okay. But Refuse I'm not a big fan of, because if you're playing a deck that's running weenies or a bunch of tokens, you're not going to get to use it for much except for really expensive overcosted burn, and then maybe copying one of those spells later. But it's a weird card. I don't know if it's going to be real particularly good or anything. Maybe somebody will break it open in like a weirdo deck like the cycling deck ended up. Ooh. If you're playing draft and you get this, draft it. Ambuscade is probably the best removal. Sorry, I shouldn't say best removal. But it is premium green removal at common. And if you get 3 or 4 copies of that card somehow, you're going to wipe boards, you're going to kill tons of creatures. Oh, I see a shiny. And you're just gonna wreck face with that, like real good. Oh, it's a Frilled Sand Wallet, and there's no full art. But this will be my 4th non-foil Locust God. I have had a foil one traded for my promo Samus. The foils in this set are really dark too. I don't know if that's just misprinting from the promo stuff. Like, this Frilled Sand Wallet is not too bad. He looks good. But I don't even have one handy. Maybe if I get a dark one here, I will let you take a closer look at it. But for reference, that Locust God is black. Like, you can't see any detail on him. He's just covered right up in all the promo versions I've seen of him. It's kind of crazy. Some have some pretty cool effects for it though. Like a buddy at the draft there, he ended up with a zombie from the last set, and it looked like a horror movie poster because there was no detail in any of the darkness. It was so dark, just solid black lines. It was really pop art kind of look. It was neat. Also, by the way, the first mythic so far, Locust God. Hey, so these cards are weird. The defeat cards. I feel like every one but the green one is okay. The blue one's debatably okay, but green, red, black, red, white are all 1 mana, blow up a creature of that color, which is great, and if it just happens to be a planeswalker, you get a bonus. But other than that, you should just look at them as 1 mana removals. Oh, rare and foil rare. And Minotaur, whatever. Scavenging Grounds is commander staple, basically. Pop it out, pay 2, exile all graveyards. You don't even need other deserts, you just play it yourself. I was kind of mistaken on it because I thought it was stupid, and then some of my friends were like, oh yeah, it's meant for commander basically, because everybody's going to throw one in just to like hate against some graveyard decks. God Pharaoh's Gift is pretty weird. This is one of the cards that they spoiled. They teased in the last set. Or if you have the Gates of the Afterlife or whatever, you can get this card out of your deck for free or cheaper or whatever. Beginning of combat on your turn, you exile a creature card from your graveyard. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that creature art, except it's a 4/4 black zombie, and it gains haste until end of turn. So, graveyard recursion. Useful? Probably. Still no full art land, man. This set don't like me for full arts. That's a shame. Because I really like the full arts in this set. And I need my prepackaged bolus lands to go to my drafts with. Have I said how much I like Crypto the Necrodance theme? Or OST? It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Oh, I see another foil peeking its head out there. Surprise, surprise, driven to despair. And struggle. Full art. Fucking finally. Oh, I thought it was the Amonkhet one. I was like, no, why? Okay, it's driven to despair. Blip. One colorless, one green. And in turn, creatures you control gain trample, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to the player, draw a card. That's a decent effect for 2. And then you get despair, and that's similar in the opposite for 2. Down turn, creatures you control gain menace, and whenever the creature deals combat damage to a player, that player discards that card. Green black, fucking bonkers weirdness. It's cool. It's definitely playable. Struggle to survive was the foil, but it's uncommon, not a rare. I think maybe I said that. It's deals damage to target creature equal to the number of lands you control. So removal, and then shuffle your graveyard into your library. So recursion and a full art mountain. They're all like slightly different than the regular mountains. Like I actually have one of the full art mountains here. Let me just sleeve up this foil again. Don't want no Pringles foils. I also have some swamps here I can show for comparison's sake. They're all ruined versions, so here's the swamp from Amonkhet. Just looks like a swamp. It's kind of fucked up and ruined looking already, but if you get the other one, the swamps turn to blood and all the plants and everything are kind of dying. This is just nice alternate art version of card. And then same deal for the mountains here. Nice red mountains, I guess, pillars. And they look pristine and shiny. And then they're all fucked up as the sun comes into the tips of the horns. I guess that's on this one too, eh? There's no sun in the horns, and then the sun's in the horns. No sun in the horns. Sun in the horns, and the world blows up. I like the contrasting art. So I'm 1/3 of the way through this box, and I've only gotten one full art land. That makes me sad. And I think I needed the red one anyway, so that's good. If I can keep up the pace for Mythics, I'll be on a plus. Hey, Bolus land? Cool. I don't like it. Hey, oh. Ooh, foil Hour of Glory and a full art land. This is a okay pack. Circles 5. Saw that one already. Leave to Chance is fucking weird. Turn any number of target permanents you own to your hand. Okay, for 2. An odd effect, but it's fine. Discard any number of cards, then draw that many cards. So recycle your hand if you're not happy with the creatures you just bounce back, I guess. Leave kind of is a neat way to save your creatures from board wipes. And then you can just recast them again, or like mass flickers and stuff. So it's not really good and limited unless you're siding it in when you find out your opponent got 3 devastations, or like 2 or 3 hour devastations, or hour revelation, or whatever. Or like I got a damnationification and an hour devastation and a couple other things that were pseudo board. Oh yeah, Sweltering Suns. It was like board wipe, sort of board wipe, and yeah. So they probably would have liked this. He was in white too. So. Full Art Forest. I don't have a forest handy, but it's the same deal. You can tell it's all fucked up areas. The rivers turn to blood and stuff. Right. Foil Hour of Glory's cool. Cat tokens are cool. Oh, I should. Forgot about that red one. I put it back in my my land pile with previous lands. Let's straighten out my piles here so they don't get all riffled. I don't think there's any common gold cards in this set. Maybe there's a common like Aftermath card or something, but that space in the bottom is going to be not used very often. Oh, I didn't realize I got this. Here's a Chandra's Defeat to match the Liliana's Defeat I showed earlier there. 1 mana, instant, deal 5 damage to target red creature or planeswalker. That permanent is a Chandra planeswalker, you may discard a card and draw a card. So loot on a 5 damage removal spell is fine. It's I don't want to say use them, but if you know everybody drafted a little bit of white or a little bit of red or whatever, you're probably fine to keep it handy, or like even in main deck if you know who you're playing. But other than that, they're like strict sideboard cards. A Braid, ooh, Overwhelming Splendor, and a Full Art Land. Making up for it with the mythics here. A Braid is fucking awesome. 2 mana, instant, 3 damage target creature. This is Bolt. Bolt on a stick with an option to destroy target artifact. Like if they get their stupid Godfarer's Gift and you just pop this and blow it up, they're gonna be real mad at you. But they spent all that work to get there. But okay, Overwhelming Splendor is real cool. I got a foil of this, actually. It was one of my promos. So for 8 mana, it's a lot, but draft you can get there, purelease you can get there, standard you can maybe get there, or cheat this out. Enchanted player, the creatures enchanted player controls lose all abilities and have base power and toughness 1/1. An enchanted player can't activate abilities that aren't mana abilities or loyalty abilities. So planeswalkers or mana dorks. But your creatures lose all the abilities, so the mana dork doesn't get them. So it has to be mana abilities like on a land or an artifact, something like that. And if they don't have a planeswalker, you just ruin their deck basically, unless they also have a removal for enchantments and curses and the like. Which the first time you throw it up, they're probably never going to see it coming. Like the Persona song. I can't sing. Don't make fun of me for singing. Alright. Oh, hey, full arts. I'm happy to get some full arts. Swamp. This is the card I have no opinion on, because I will never pick it in drafts. I feel like it's real hard to get a lot of cards in your graveyard early enough to make this thing scary. Oh boy. And sacking creatures for this guy that might be like a 2/2 or a 3/3 or something is not my idea of a great card. I mean, standard is gonna be real fun when you like mill half your deck. And throw him out and he's a 30/30 for 6 or something like that. That's game over when that happens. Or if you get like dual-sided mill going, where each of you guys are chucking away stuff into your graveyard, or you play a card and each of you chuck 3 or 4 cards or something like that, it'll get up there. Hey, I really like this card. Oh, I haven't got these blue full arts yet either. Imminent Doom doesn't seem like everybody likes it, but I love it because it's stupid and it's the kind of card I would totally build a deck around. Imminent Doom enters the battlefield with a Doom counter on it. When you cast a spell with converted mana cost equal to the number of Doom counters on Imminent Doom gains that much damage to target creature player. Then put a Doom counter on Imminent Doom. A lot of Doom. But play this, and if you got multiple mana and you want to re-ping for 1, Magma Spray. Magma Spray. Deals 2 damage to the opponent, kills 2 creatures, they are exiled. Go up to the 2-drop one. Blur of Blades, Blur of Blades, Blur of Blades, because they're instants. So you can stack the triggers on this, where you'll get 2 damage, 2 damage, 2 damage, and then you'll get 1 -1/1 counter, 1 -1 counter, 1 -1 counter, and then 6 more damage. It gets up there fast, like it's a go-around card for sure, but I can't wait to see somebody break it. I like this art. It's like a different color completely than the other island was, so it's so weird that the first like literal 12 packs or whatever had no full arts in them. I'm getting a lot of foils and stuff. Well, Hey, and a legendary horse token too. So I got the legendary horse in our 2-headed giant pool. Me and a friend, we ended up with like 6 white mythics and then the locust god and a couple other things. It was a pretty strong pool, and we fucking sucked it up real hard and lost every round except for one. We got a bye because our opponents dropped out of the tournament after they built their deck. It's plains. Cool. I like the look of it. It's a little cloudy. Grind to dust. It's really good. For 2 mana, put a -1/-1 on the target creatures. That's great. It's fine. For 4 mana, exile any number of target creatures that have -1/-1 counters on them. So if you're in the counters deck, splashing white to just wipe the board sometimes is pretty cool. Well, even a lopsided board wipe, because you could make sure your own creatures have lost all their -1/-1 counters, or do not have -1/-1 counters on them. Oops, that's this guy's stupid. I don't like him. He's weird cost. He's just not good. Like, if you have to play him, ignore his effect basically. Dune Diviner. 2 colorless and a green for 2/3. Pay 1. Tap an untapped desert you control at the gain of life. I mean, like maybe it saves you or something. Ooh, spicy. The second god we pulled. Also, Scorpion God is my particularly least favorite, but he's also the one I'm probably gonna play more because he does stuff on his own pretty fine. He doesn't affect the board as much. Like the Scarab God just wrecks the freaking whole place once he gets going. The Locust God can get up there too, but he's but the Scorpion God is like the right in between there, where he gets pretty decent synergy just on his own. Like when you start putting -1/-1 counter on creatures, 4/3, which is kind of cool. It's just like slightly ever costed removal. You get to draw cards every time you kill a creature. So if they're playing weenies or tokens or something, and you're like pow, 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 it might as well just say destroy a creature, draw a card for 3. But in other decks with synergy, like Hapatra, you're going to just freaking fill the board up, draw cards, and kill things, which is great. Ooh. Yeah, every pack of this center stack has been full arts. If you get a choice when you go to your store, maybe buy the center row. Those have the most foils there. Haste. When he enters the battlefield, sorry. Target creature acquire less than or equal to Earthshaker counter's power cannot block this turn. He's got haste, so he's 2-1 for 2. Can't be blocked basically the turn he drops, which is pretty much on curve. When he comes back, obviously he's better. 4-4. Creatures with power 4 or less can't block him, which if you're playing on set stuff, not many of them have more than 4 powers to gods. Well, you cast a couple big green things. Everything else is usually 4. Or around 4, so. Oh yeah, the foil was Seer of the Last Tomorrow. And he's boring, it's fine. He's not a bad card. He's totally playable in drafts. He's totally playable in standards for the right thing. Pay 1, discard a card, target player puts the top 3 cards of their deck into the graveyard. That part's a bonus. You play this for the discard a card in Cyclic deck. And it's 1-4, so it's totally cool to like just sit there and block when you don't need to use it to pump stuff up. I want a Torment of Hellfire, Devastation, and Frayed Sandy. Those are probably my favorite cards to pop out of the set. Debatably good or not, but they're fun. Ambuscade! Go Ambuscade. Oh, boo. Man, every pack in the center stack has been full art. Endless Sands, I don't like this card at all. Why? It's just not good. Well, I don't think it's good. Somebody prove me wrong. I get the utility of it. You play it, you have 2 extra mana, you can exile a creature that's going to get blown up, or if you block with it, then exile it, or whatever. Save your best creature board wipe. But it's kind of too expensive, I feel, for that exile target creature you control. If it was like 1 or tap and exert the land or something like that, I would be super fine playing it. But paying 2 and tap a land feels like I have to pay 3 mana to do that, and even though it's instant speed or whatever, it's like a bad saving grace combat trick. And then paying 4 to get the back is fine, but how many creatures are you gonna get? Like 2 maybe? When you decide to use it, or are you gonna wait the whole game stocking creatures up and then never get to use it? Or you're just gonna remove your own creatures, which I'd rather have on the board, and trade with these other guys. There's a blue card that I feel is the sort of the better equivalent of that. We just pay a fuckload of mana and bring back any number of creatures as 4/4s. Well, any number of creatures except for X. Paid X or whatever. Oh, I'm starting to get woozy. Sleepy woozy. 2/3 done. I can do it. Hey, Razaketh. And the full art streak of the center packs go on. This Razaketh is a bomb and a half. 8 drop, which is pretty high, but he's an 8/8 flying trample, which is ugh. He's not going away unless you get some lucky exile or just tap him permanently down. Where you pay 2 life, sack another creature, search your library for a card, and put that card in your hand. Shuffle your library. It's just a demonic tutor on a stick, which is pretty good too. Yeah, he's cool. So that's 4 mythics, which is high. So I've now done 2/3 of the pack. That might mean the rest of my stuff is going to be low on mythics, but maybe there's some invocations in there. I hope. Oh, I'm clumsy. I'm just bumping stuff all around here. Yeah, this is my 40 hours of no sleep starting to catch up to me. Quench of thirst. Kenner Scrapper is fucking beastie for red commons. 2/3 for 3 menace, which is great. He's that alley strangler, I think is from Kaladesh or whatever. But this guy you can exert to get +2 and 0, so he's a 4/3 menace on turn 4, which is like great. Oh yeah, my other favorite card. These two cards play great together. Climber Naga is a 3/2 for 3, which is the better costing stats. But if you have a desert, he gets +1 in trample, so he's a 4/2 trample, which is great. He's gonna swing into stuff and kill him and do damage, and they'll trade. But who cares? He's a 3-drop. More River Hoopo. Hey, man, full art streak doesn't end in the center. Okay, Dorn Panther. 1/1 double strike. Meh. For 2. Meh. He's a bear basically, but slightly better because he can kill 2/1s without taking damage. Or 3/1s or whatever, anything 1s. Tarmogoyf. But the double strike plus Eternalize means this guy comes back and swings in as an 8/4 with first strike, which is, well, okay, sorry. 8/4 with 4 first strike damage is pretty crazy for 5? Like, this thing's a crazy bomb if you can get 1 or 2 or anything like that. You're playing it, you're playing it, you're playing it. And there's definitely going to be a cat deck. I got Cat Sovereign, Dorn Pouncers, Cat Lord, and a Johnny. And you're like, hey, Cat Tribal in Standard. Razcat's right to summon Razcat from deck. It's just freaking Demonic Tutor basically with cycling, which I think is better. Ooh. Okay, so we're on our way to 5 mythics because I got another bolus. I pulled 2 of these already, and here's the 3rd one. He's crazy. He's got a lot of effects. I don't like him particularly, but if you get him and you're using him, he's real annoying. +2, target opponent exiles stars on top of his deck until he hits a non-land card. Down a turn, you may cast that card without paying its mana cost. So just steal whatever card they got on their deck. Ignore the lands for +2. Puts him to +9 on turn 1 that he's out. +1, each opponent exiles 2 cards from his or her hand. That's a multiplayer game ruiner. You just blap, 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 and they lose your hand quickly. -4, deals 7 damage to target creature opponent controls, or target opponent or creature an opponent controls. So he's a Inferno Jet for -4. You could +2 him once and then do that twice, which is, it's a lot of damage. Or you can just exile the board, which is alright. I wish that just said exile all permanents that player controls, target player controls or something. But all his wordings are two-headed giant applicable and commander applicable, so I think those are where he's going to be played. He's just too expensive. He's just 7 cost planeswalker, and he's 3 colors. He's hard to play. I don't think he's going to pop up in many decks, but feeling okay with the box so far. Like, as far as what I got out of it. Value-wise, hasn't been anything crazy yet. I think Bolus is by far the most expensive regular thing I've gotten. But I'm happy with the cards I got so far. They fit into my collection because I collect playsets. Hey, I haven't got this card yet, and we're back to the non-full art lands. Our Devastation. That's a good board wipe. 5 cost in red, which I don't know how many board wipes red gets too often, but they're always kind of weird in the way that they interact with the board. All creatures lose indestructible to end a turn. Our Devastation deals 5 damage to each creature and each non-bolus planeswalker. So if you got a bolus planeswalker, they don't die. But 5 damage will kill 90% of the creatures in the set. It's pretty good. More ambuscade. Yay, for insanity. I was looking for you. This is fun. I like this card. Enchant player. At the beginning of each end step, enchanted player puts the top X cards of his or her library into her graveyard, where X is the number of cards put into the graveyard from anywhere that turn. So, you play this on your opponent, obviously, unless you're doing weird crap and you want to mill yourselves for a large number of cards. And then you play the 2-drop, mill player for 5, and then they mill 5 more. But if you get 2 of these out, they mill for 20 or 40. If you play like multiples of things like real quick, and you got the blue guy that taps and discards and then mills the opponent some more. These can stack up, and that gets stuff real bonkers real fast. I think that's like one of the first blue rares I've gotten too. Well, I got like 10 packs left. I bet all of these have no full arts in them. Just because the way these stacks went, it feels real obvious almost. Ooh, Violet Eternal. I really like him. And on the streak of no full arts. I wonder if that's a mistake in production. Wildfire Eternal is a 4-drop, 1/4, which is weird, but Afflict 4, which means whenever he is blocked, defending player loses 4 life. Whenever he isn't blocked, you may cast an instant or sorcery card from your hand without paying its mana cost. That lets you cheat sorceries out, like Power of Devastation, or Inferno Jet, which is 6 damage that you can cast for free with these guys. And say you didn't pull this guy, you just cycle it. It's the 2-drop, where it's got 2-cost cycling, which is so good. I really like Inferno Jet. It's won me too many games where I draw the card and it's an Inferno Jet, and I just drop it on the field and my opponents scoop their deck up because they're just at the wrong amount of life, and that just ends the game. No thinking required. Spider. Spider. This spider he's a giant spider with better stats, because he deals 2 damage, but 1's permanent damage in the form of a -1/-1 counter. Because he deals 1 damage, then they get a -1/-1 counter, so it's 2 damage. But they don't lose that other damage. Whenever you put a -1/-1 counter on a creature, each opponent loses life and you gain life, so it drains. And also in the Patra deck, does that get stupid fast. You're like, Nest of Scarabs, Soulscar Mage, Rending Volley, pop, 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 pop. So far my guess is right about no full art lands in that side thing. Mirage Mirror is radical. It's 3-cost copy anything, essentially. Artifact, creature, or enchantment, or land until end of turn. For 2. So, they get 4/4 double strike and kitty. You copy it and trade or swing in with it. Like, they don't have to be attacking or blocking or anything. You just copy whatever's the best thing on. Yeah. Like, say you needed to play this because you were low on mana or low on creatures or something, and you just copy their land to ramp, or copy their best creature and just swing back at them. I really like it. Oh yeah, by the way, this Carrion's creature is not Bone Picker or whatever it was from Amonkhet, where if a creature died, it costs 1 black. It's not that. It doesn't have Death Touch. It's just zombie synergy and an okay cost for 3/1 for 4, which is fine when it gets flying. Here's the Nisa's Defeat card. So he's getting introduced to the magical world of Pentacles. I guess hers costs more because you can blow up a forest, green enchantment, or green planeswalker. If that planeswalker is a Nisa, draw a card. The land destruction on this, I guess, makes it more expensive, but 3 is too much for this. Like, forest, green enchantment, or green planeswalker. Not even a creature like the rest of them. It's an awkward one. I don't like it. I don't think it's playable in anything pretty much. Fuck, another hostile desert. I don't like this card. I said that. And no full arts. I'm pretty good at predicting what these box orders are packed like, eh? I got 1, 2, 7 packs left. Lucky number 7 means that's invocation on the 7th. Ooh, Royal Ceradon. No full art. Okay, so Torment of Scarabs is awesome. It's 4 cost, whatever. Champ player beginning of the upkeep, they lose 3 life, or they sacrifice a non-land permanent, creature, artifact, whatever, or discard a card. Upkeep is mean because they might be like trying to get something going, and then you're just like, nah, they gotta take that. You don't choose it, but you can play more of those, and that's funny. This is probably one of the best rares in the set. Ronus' Last Stand. Similar to the Bonchi's Last Stand, your lands don't untap, but you're playing a 2-drop 5/4 creature. Who cares? You're gonna beat their face in. And if you're not, something went wrong. They countered it, they blew it up as soon as they hit the field or something. But I'll take that every time and play it, because it's just a 2-drop, or essentially a 4-drop 5/4, but on turn 2. They're not swinging into that with little hasties or anything. They're just gonna look at it and go, oh shit, I'm not swinging this turn, and then you get to play more stuff. Crocodile Hunter Dundee. Ooh, Kefnet's Last Word. I think I've got all of them except for Ketra and Hazrats now in this pod. This is the other one I really like. 4 cost. So you got the Ronus' Last Stand at 2, Bonchi's Last Stand at 3, and then Kefnet's Last Word at 4. Just gain control of something. Again, who cares what's happening on that turn? You're just stealing a thing for nothing, basically. Like, if you're playing in the blue-red spells deck and you get your Wildfire Eternal, who pings in, they take the 1 damage, you play this like it's an instant, basically, for free, not tapping your lands, and you steal their best creature, or artifact, or enchantment, and then you go to your turn with a full board, and you just play with it, like, oh. Kefnet's Last Word, and Bonchi's Last Stand, and Ronus' Last Stand are real good. The white one is fucking nice. Just gain back to your starting life title. Don't untap your lands for 3. You already got a good 3-slot card. Just make it 1-slot card. Yeah, maybe Oketra's Last Mercy, I think, should just be a 1 cost. I'll gain 20 life on 1. I
probably won't bother if it's not that much though. Or if it's not a higher number like that. Hey, Jace's defeat. Not terrible, but weird. Counter target blue spell. If it was a Jace Planeswalker, scry 2. So, if they're playing blue, you're playing blue, you countered something, which is alright. Hey! Speak of the friggin' devil. Inferno Jet, one of my favorite cards. 6 mana, deal 6 damage, or cycle for 2. Great, cool. You're gonna play that whenever you can and cycle it whenever you can, and just, it's fine. Hazoret's Undying Fury. 6 cost. It's the most expensive of the last stands, and I sort of like it the least. Search the library, then exile top 4 cards. You may cast any number of non-land cards with converted mana cost 5 or less. That part fucking sucks. Without paying their mana cost. Lands you control don't untap during the next untap step. You could get super crazy lucky on this, but doesn't hit Inferno Jet, doesn't hit some of the other big spells that you might want to cast for free, like Great Maw Hellion or whatever it is, where the Sweltering Sun on it 5/5 or something. And you can't even cast this if you have multiples in the deck, which is, I think, sad to not be able to cascade into cascade into cascade into cascade and just get to play your deck for free. Although that'd be pretty funny setup. I guess that could be like a toned down Aetherworks Marvel. Or neutered Aetherworks Marvel. Oh, I never got this card before either. Swarm Intelligence for 7. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you may copy that and choose new targets for the copy. Just duplicate your spells. It's fine. You gotta be in that deck. If you're not in that deck, it's okay too. More standard build because it's so expensive. Or commander as well. They just want all the cards, basically. All the big cards. Just go into commander. Hey, catching up on the hours too. The boxes were designed like that. Our Promise. 5 cost? Yeah. Search the library for up to 2 land cards, put them on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle your library. If you control 3 or more deserts, create 2 black zombie tokens. 2/2 and 2/2 for 5 is meh. Slight ramp, but it's real late is meh too. But you can use it to fetch the deserts you need to kick off the activation, which is alright too. Because then you're getting zombie buffs in addition to that. The other defeat for Gideon. Exile target white creature that's attacking or blocking. If it was a Gideon Planeswalker, gain 5 life. This is great in the mirror match, or great in the anti-Gideon decks. Hey, you braid. And Champion Wits. I feel like we started over as far as what I'm getting now. Final pack. Invocation. I don't feel it, but be surprised when it comes up. Game beat. Oh, it's just not camera. And every pack that wasn't the center pack didn't come with full end, and the center pack did. It's totally stacked like a machine that way. Zillion Kenner is cool. He's a 2-drop, gives creature +2/+2 when he enters the battlefield, but you can eternalize him. Fucking pick up camera. There you go. And he becomes a 4/4. So when he comes back, he gives a creature +4/+4. He's great. Super cool. Alright. Well, thank you guys for watching. I apologize. I'm so sleepy. I can't stay up any longer. I need some rest after the 40 hours or whatever. I'll sort these out tomorrow. Yes. Thanks. See you guys. Oh, right. Fuck, I was gonna open these tokens. I'll do that real quick. Horse and Adorned Pouncer, Insect and Champion of Thing, Insect and Dream Stealer, Cat and Earthshaker, Cat and Proven Combatant. Oh, the 1-drop 4/4. Yeah. Cat. Oh my god, so many cats. Valiant Canra, Sinuous Striker. More cat. Steadfast Sentinel. More cats. Oh my god. Punchboard Champion. And another horse. Man, they put so many freaking cats in there. Snack token. I want more snack tokens. Insect. Look, you got a big paintbrush. Oh man, there's lots of zombie back tokens too. Jesus. Insect, snake, horse. Oh man, they give you a pretty good chunk of tokens in this one, unlike the other one, which feels weird because every card I want to use is not the card that's there. I won't open these either. Well, I won't open them now. But they come with, I think, 4 of each of the bolus lands, and then 4 of each of the lands that are in the set as regular art. Yeah, there must have been some weird fucking stack up in the factory, considering that the whole middle stack is all the full arts, and then the 2 surrounding stacks are none of them. Bet you somebody out there will figure out the frequency to find the perfect amount of invocations or whatever. I'm sleepy. Thanks. Good night, guys. I'll see you guys for another stream shortly. Stopping the stream now. Bye bye.